What's going on, fellow alchemists? Welcome to Quasi Astrology. Today we're doing Lilith in the deep, dark, mysterious sign of Virgo. So, Lilith in the sign of Virgo. Well, firstly, what does Lilith mean in your chart? I'm assuming you all know the history of Lilith, and if you don't, I will leave a link for this introductory series, or you can go and look it up yourself. But Lilith represents in the chart the deep primordial feminine energy in all of us. This is not just in women, it's not just in men, it can be in anyone's chart and expressed through anyone's identity, whether it doesn't matter how you identify or what gender you identify with, Lilith has its impact. And what we find here is we find the feminine energy of emancipation. We can find the energy that allows us to leave and absolve ourselves from the physical plane of incarnated physical reality. So we live in this physical reality. We exist and exude our presence and our influences into the physical lower plane. But when we bring Lilith in here, we can find our way to work with this energy successfully and leave planet Earth, or leave at least the plane D in Theosophy, and exalt up the ascending arc. But at the same time, we can also enslave ourselves if we work with this energy incorrectly. We can find ourselves being kept here in the karmatic cycle of reincarnation and repetitively playing out the same sequences until we finally find a new sequence to actually leave. So when you have Lilith sitting in Virgo, remember Virgo is really part of the sign of Scorpio in ancient Hermetic astrology. We're talking about Egyptology type of astrology here, which is all about how how Scorpio is a point where in the esoteric astrology where the energy moves down the ascending arc and finally falls into the lower descent. This is the expression of the soul changing its patterns into the physical plane. So Virgo is very much a part of Scorpio, and Scorpio is very much a part of Virgo. However, when you look, and you can understand this by looking at the signs. I mean, the sign of Virgo is involution and the sign of Scorpio is evolution. That doesn't discount the properties in tropical astrology. I'm just trying to point out here that because Virgo is a part or that action in the scale or the cycle of how energy is transmutated and operates, it is a very dark, deep sign, and it exudes the feminine, mutable earth energy that we all see when we're dealing with people with very strong influences in Virgo. So when you bring deep feminine primordial energy of Lilith and you combine it with the deep feminine mutable earth of Virgo, remember Virgo is all supposed to be about pedantic, methodical and medicinal healing at the same time. It's all about the spiritual aspects of healing, because Virgo pulls from the polarity of Pisces, and so this encompasses that deep, wonderful, watery nature in the mutable sign. That's why it's mutable and not fixed or cardinal. Mutable sign of Virgo. And so you here with Lilith here, you find somebody who exalts in the areas that I've previously mentioned. They're very good at doing things. They stand out. Exceptional intelligence, exceptional awareness of their situation and surroundings. They are just unbelievably able to look beyond the fabrics of physical reality and pull from within there and from the other spectrums beyond physical reality information and bring it and encapsulate it here in the physical realm. The issue here is that a lot of the time, whilst they did this in childhood, it was maybe belittled, or these people were insulted or dragged down for being able to do this. You know, this cutting edge, this deep mercurial insight, this third dynamic ingenuity that comes with Virgo and Lilith in Virgo. You found that people who had this placement, or you can find that people who have this placement might struggle to implement that into their lives because they're so almost afraid of doing it because of all all of the obstacles they met and all of the people who doubted them when they were younger. But here we see a person who, if they get that 5 minutes to shine, they will shine and they will leave a lasting impression. They're not just going to remember, because Lilith doesn't work in half measures. She's all about the extremes, the polarities of positive, beneficent, and malefic and negative. So the positive side here is that you are great at intellectually pulling out sources from the netherworlds, the worlds that aren't part of our world physically, or in the sense that we can't visibly see them, but they are present there. And you're able to break that dichotomy. You're able to step aside and engage with that energy, and engage with that knowledge, and engage with all the wisdom and all the philosophical and deeper esoterical understandings of the universe. But at the same time, you can be quite harsh. You can be quite dangerous when it comes to being able to scheme, to plot, to disrupt, to interrupt people and interrupt the process. Because you're mutable, you can redirect your energy. It's not fixed and it's not cardinal. You can redirect your energy here. You can redirect that sheer power of feminine energy, and you can disrupt what the common flow is. So the whole trick here is learning that you want and you can produce and you can give off these absolutely wonderful, intellectually supreme and stable ideas that you've pulled out from the cosmic beyond, from the microcosm. And you can contribute to a better society and a better world in the whole, which is your point where you can leave and you've done and you've dealt with the karmas. But at the same time, you can do the exact opposite of all of that, and you can scheme and you can plot and you can corrupt yourself through actions where you don't feel empowered, and as a means to try and feel empowered, you superficially go after the things that are superficial and not real, thus encompassing yourself more in physical matter. So just be careful here, because then you will come back, and as I previously mentioned at the beginning of this video, you will repeat the sequences. So the whole purpose here is to step out, to emancipate yourself, to find your liberation through the feminine energy, through the feminine mutable earth sign and mercurial sign of Virgo, and reach that level where you've stepped out and you don't need to come back here, and you're at the higher planes, you're at the more ethereal planes. So fellow alchemists, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you did. Drop a like down below and drop a comment to tell us how you feel having this position in your chart, the things you deal with, the obstacles you come into contact with. I'll see you next time. Take good care of yourself. Bye.